Hello, I'm Ron Wilson and welcome back to PD Sessions. Momentum is gathering behind calls to overhaul the education and professional standards of financial advisors in the wake of the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Corporations and Financial Services Inquiry's far-reaching recommendations for the industry. In international news, India's economy has been named the bright spot of the Asian region, and the US economy has fallen back into deflation for the first time since 2009. In other news, ASIC's industry-wide public register of financial advisors has gone live. Trevor Trahan has the details.
The Australian Bankers Association, or ABA, and the federal government have thrown their support behind calls to raise the education and professional standards of financial advisors. The Parliamentary Joint Committee on Corporations and Financial Services, or PJC, recently made recommendations for lifting the professional, ethical and education standards in the financial services industry. ABA's chief executive, Stephen Muchenberg, stated that quality financial advice contributes significantly to wealth creation and securing a strong financial future. Assistant Treasurer Josh Frydenberg commented that the government welcomed the recent report regarding the PJC's findings. The RBA decided against back-to-back rate cuts by leaving the cash rate unchanged at 2.25% at its March board meeting. The 0.25% cut in February represented the first interest rate move in 18 months, but the RBA has held back on another cut for now. RBA Governor Glenn Stevens stated that in Australia, the available information suggests that growth is continuing at a below-trend pace, with domestic demand growth overall quite weak. Australians are favouring smaller, more affordable homes, according to the latest Bankwest Housing Density Report. Approvals for the construction of flats, townhouses and semi-detached houses are nearing their highest level in 20 years, and closing in on approvals for freestanding houses. In the year to November, multi-unit dwellings accounted for 43% of all home building approvals, well above the 20-year average at 33.7%, according to the report. Ratings agency S&P raised India's growth forecast for the forthcoming years and labelled the economy a bright spot in Asia, and currently rates India at BBB- with a stable outlook. S&P raised its India GDP growth forecast to 7.9% from 6.2% for the year ending March 2016, citing rising investment and low oil prices as contributing factors. The agency also raised its growth forecast for 2016-17 to 8.2% from 6.6% previously. The US economy has fallen back into deflation for the first time since 2009, as headline inflation dropped 0.1% in the year to January, according to the Bureau of Labour Statistics, or BLS. The BLS reported that the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers declined 0.7% in January on a seasonally adjusted basis, while steep falls in the price of petrol were blamed for the overall dip across other relevant indexes. The EU has given France 2 more years until 2017 to bring its budget deficit back into line with Brussels rules. While the Eurozone's second biggest economy avoids a fine for now, France must present a reform plan to the EU to show how it intends to get its finances back in order. In November, the EU gave France, Italy and Belgium an extra 3 months to come up with plans to cut their deficits back below the 3% of GDP limit. Italy and Belgium face no action because they have made enough progress towards bringing their deficits back into line with EU spending regulations that were tightened in the wake of the Eurozone debt crisis. The government will increase pension payments by $200 million a year with the lowering of the Social Security deeming rates. The deeming rate calculates how much investment income part pensioners can receive before their pensions are reduced. Minister for Social Services Scott Morrison claimed the change will benefit more than 770,000 Australian part pensioners and allowance recipients. First mooted by the government in October 2014, ASIC's industry-wide public register of financial advisors went live on 31 March. ASIC worked with licensees and authorised representatives, assisting them to provide the required information in accordance with the timetable in the planned regulations. The register contains details of all persons employed or authorised, directly or indirectly, by licensees authorised to provide personal financial advice to retail clients on Tier 1 investment products. At 31 December 2014, total super assets, including the assets of SMSFs and the balance of Life Office statutory funds, rose to $1.93 trillion, an increase of 9.3% from the December 2013 quarter, according to APRA. Contributions to funds with more than 4 members over the December 2014 quarter were $26.1 billion, up 15.3% from the December 2013 quarter, which was $22.7 billion. Total contributions for the year ending December 2014 were $100.6 billion.